The following podcast does not reflect the editing preferences of the Commissioner of the eMLB, nor myself as the editor of this YouTube channel. This episode got so crazy that I gave up trying to bleep everything out, and Daffy Duck's contract states that he can only cover live streams. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the broadcast buddies, the podcast pals, we are here again. I've been gone for a while. 3 of these gentlemen were recently, I believe. And then Denver's joining us in place of the missing Andrew. So everybody, welcome. It's a fun Saturday night.
I feel like it might be an improvement.
I mean, as long as we don't have to listen to the Cardinals every 5 seconds, I think it is an improvement.
We're gonna bother you with the Mets.
I would rather hear about the Mets. Much like an internet meme, it's all about the Mets, baby. Let's go.
The Mets. Let's go.
Let's go Mets, baby.
I should not be.
Hey, real quick, I know we're recording, and I know this is going to be in the episode, but I want the audience to understand where the idea for the title of the episode came from. This episode will be eMLB Offseason Preview and Festivus.
And Festivus. It's the holiday for the rest of us.
Let's go.
Festivus for the rest of us.
That's why I have my festive slay all day tumbler here.
Yes.
Oh.
So it will be the customary airing of the grievances tonight.
Oh, I could wear my.
Well, I have the North Star, or the, I guess.
I could wear my Dana
Farber
beanie.
And I guess that makes Aiden the baby Jesus.
Yes.
Or I guess that way.
It works. I'm Jewish.
It all.
Let's
fits.
get this show on
It
the
all
road.
makes sense now.
This is the hard-hitting content that you're here for.
This will be the best episode ever, and it will not be the most informative.
In 5 minutes.
All right, so let's just go straight to the airing of the grievances. Denbrew, what is your grievance you'd like to air today?
Pass.
Pass.
Can
All
I
right,
go?
I'll go first. Hold on, I got one.
Do it.
Let's air the grievance on the fact of the matter that Chris Still can absolutely fleece any GM he wants in eMLB.
What do you do?
You're talking about Ben. I'm talking about Ben.
Sorry,
And,
Ben.
and that's mine. That's mine. I get to talk about that one.
Oh yeah, he
my
was
bad.
talking
Go
about
ahead.
that one.
Spoiler
You may
alert.
have the floor.
Okay. So, as eMLB's trade weasel.
As the world turns.
As the trade weasel.
So do you run the MLB Trade Rumors account then?
I do not. And
Okay.
I wish I did. We all know Kamish runs it, but I wish I did. I knew that K-Rod was going to Houston a little bit before everyone else did. And I like Josh. I know there are mixed feelings on Josh. I think he's a genuinely really good dude. I like talking to him, and I would consider him a friend. But he got fucked. All right? Ben bent him over, made him spread his legs, and asked for more, Daddy. He seriously said, Ben, fuck me harder. And I don't know how he got away with fucking dealing K-Rod, who is a CCP second baseman, for a fucking nobody AAA outfielder who can't play the outfield, a whatever starting pitching prospect who will never reach the majors, and Aaron fucking Nola, who sucks.
Okay, so
In
Brenden,
real life too.
Can I ask a question? A follow-up question?
Go right ahead.
He just had 2 saves.
I know you've toned this down for the
I am.
MLB content. Well, how do you really feel about this?
I was promised hot takes.
Exactly.
My hot take is that Ben is a fucking snake, and if you're not careful, he will get any of you. All right.
He got me for
He will
Diaz.
get
So
any of you. He can get any of you whenever he wants. He's in your closet. He's back there right now. You guys don't know it, but he's back there right now, waiting for me to lose, stop paying attention, so he can come out here and steal my best players.
Hey, that's why I
No.
carry a lube at all
No.
times.
No, not
Yeah.
Aaron Cross. No.
There goes Tim.
well, Tim's gone.
I mean, Ben is a fucking snake. This is why the Astros are so fucking good because
Tim's gone.
Because no one will stand up to the Astros. No one will stand up to them and make them say, "Pay for this player." Everyone fucking caves because Ben's a lawyer. He's a talented negotiator, and this league is filled with people who will cave in to what he wants. Don't cave into him. Demand what you want, or don't trade with him. And that's how you keep the Astros from winning 113 motherfucking games.
And how do we keep the Royals from losing 113 games?
That is a lost cause. I
refuse to answer that question. I refuse to answer that question.
So let's move.
I got 2 Twinkies for my player. I'm happy.
So JR, do you have a grievance you'd like to air?
I have a grievance, and I aired this grievance on the Discord, which is why all of a sudden our guys asking for $80 fucking million a year.
JR,
when did that happen?
That happened when Connor Siebold got whatever he got last year,
and it happened when we started making like a million god tier players, where the players are like, "Oh, well, maybe I can ask for that."
Yeah, should Connor Siebold be making $35 million a year?
I know.
I blame it on the stupid game. The game fucked me.
So let's ask this question. I want to go around the room. Who is going to be the first player to make more than $75 million a season?
It's going to be
Danny Smith Jr.
Smith. Mm-hmm. That Maury deal really was the start of all this.
Maury deal was the start of it. I agree with him.
It raised everyone else up.
And shout out to our editor for driving up the price, as he likes to remind everyone on a daily basis.
But
honestly, like it's something to be proud of.
But honestly, the Maury deal was signed how many years ago in sim time? And when have we seen any deals since then even close to that?
Okay, so 2 things. I do want to point out, in previous versions of the game, in offline files, because I've experienced it, when you try to negotiate early extensions with players, they tend to have unrealistically high asking prices because they don't want to sign the extension yet. They're basically saying, I don't want to, but if you're willing to do it, I'll do it for that number.
But in this case,
the price will come down.
But in this case, it doubled just because we switched the game to 24.
It didn't double because we switched the game to 24. It doubled because we entered the offseason. I think that was the biggest change.
So why all of a sudden this offseason? What contract has been signed in the last 3 years that would cause that? Nothing.
I think Out of the Park 24 is fine. I think 2 things are happening. Out of the Park 24 is accounting for the trend in real life contracts, and the league talent level continues to rise. So contracts are finally coming, and this is the offseason where we finally see that bump in asking price because most of the because so many CCPs are getting to the point where they can start negotiating extensions.
Well,
I call poor.
I call bullshit. We switched one game version, and all of a sudden, guys want the moon like they're, Might route.
Give it 2 years, and we'll see if Griffey's asking price is still $500 million, or if it lowers to 350.
I'm gonna trade his ass before then.
Well, but then we'll be on OOTP 25 or 26, and
then they'll be asking for 120 million a year.
Maybe they will, and we'll address that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Well, and I think also the game's the financial things behind
don't
the
be
scenes
poor. It's a choice.
Also adjust up.
My media revenue
based
hasn't
on the
doubled.
real thing. That's true.
Here's the thing,
the price for article compensation hasn't doubled.
Your media revenue
like you're even going to receive it. Like you're even going to receive it in a realistic time frame, anyways.
You wouldn't receive money. You're with Valley Sports in Cincinnati. Y'all wouldn't receive shit.
But it's the game. The game changes. The demand changes.
All right.
I think I should not answer. I think I should not say that again.
Tim, do you have a grievance you'd like to air?
Yes. I need my owner to die.
Is your owner?
I need this. No, I just need this guy to stop taking 10
Money.
to 15 million off the top at the end of every year.
Greedy bastard.
When I could use that, I had Glass now, not a Cy Young winner, but pretty decent for me. All year long. Nope, gonna test free agency. Nope, gonna test free agency. The sim after my owner pulls 10 million from me, Glass now says, I'd be looking for a 4-year deal, 10 million per.
Some bitch.
I got jack all to give him.
Is he reaching free agency then?
Yeah, he's in free agency
Oh,
right now.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little behind. I'm just getting back into things here.
It's okay. Pirates won the World Series, just to update you.
Yeah.
And the Rays missed the playoffs, by the way, just to update you.
I will not be commenting on either
Reds
situation
suck
as
this
advice
year,
for
by the way.
my media as advice for my media personnel. I will not be commenting on either situation.
Did anybody else notice, speaking of free agency, that there's like a lot of these guys who were not offered arbitration that are just asking for 1-year deals? What is up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they know that they're garbage.
Yeah.
But they're not garbage, some of them. I mean,
So
League talent levels.
league talent levels. All right.
ridiculous.
Let's play. Would you gentlemen like to play a game real quick?
But we haven't gotten to do Denver's airing of the
what's
Ravens.
Denver's?
I said-
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I said Kansas City.
Oh, is that yours?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
Kansas City and Baltimore's relationship of we just give players because we feel bad.
Okay. I don't feel like that's fair, but whatever.
So would you gentlemen like to play a game?
I would love to play a game. Is it going to be like the Saw kind of game or like a fun kind of game?
Like a fun
Wait,
kind of game.
Yay!
you just had Ben jumping out of a closet, and now we're going right to Saw? Wow.
I mean, maybe he is Jigsaw, honestly.
I think after that first
hold on,
segment, I
you
got to
wanna
take a
talk
shot.
Hold on. If we're talking about horror movies for a second, I could bring on a special guest who knows very much about horror movies.
My wife does too.
My girlfriend is literally sitting here laughing right now when I just said that. But that's neither here nor there. But, all right. First of all, we got our first, we'll say holiday to keep it, non-denominational out here. We got our first holiday present early with Aaron rejoining the ranks as GM for the Minnesota Twins. So shout out, Aaron.
Let's fucking go! The baddest
First time in my life I've ever
eMLB
been a
history
Twins
is
fan.
back.
Shot of tequila for Aaron coming back.
Salud.
Woo!
So,
welcome back, Aaron.
that was the first holiday gift we got.
Yes.
Ooh.
So,
And now,
Well, no, that was not the first.
Right before this segment, we should have our in memoriam.
yes, in memoriam.
I think, Jared, what you're referring to is the Christmas Eve present.
Yes.
Yes, that's the
that
one
led
the
to
day
the
before.
That was like
the big
parents
present
say,
in the parking lot.
Yeah, your parents say like you can open one gift on Christmas Eve, and you go right for the big one, and then you open it and you're like ready to be like excited and not be disappointed, and boom, you're just thunderous applause.
Thunderous applause. All right, so let's play a game. We all love eMLB. So what is one gift we'd like to see under the festive poll? Because this is Festivus. So what gift would we like to see under the poll? Let's start with you, Tim. What would you like to see in a box underneath, for whether it's team, whether it's for eMLB? What would you like to see under the Festivus poll?
In my heart of hearts, although I know I probably won't get it, and I know there's a lot of reasons why we don't, I would like to see us get to spend a little bit more time with the playoffs. I feel like between we spend more time in spring training than we do the playoffs, and I would just like to see that coverage expanded.
I like that. That's very wholesome. Mm-hmm. So, JR, what would you like to see under the Festivus poll this year?
You mean other than like $500 million?
Yes, of course. I mean, we'd all love to see that.
Why? To sign any one player in particular?
I'd like to see the official rotten corpse of the re-rate. I want to see it dead for good and buried.
I need Brenden Nimmo to be re-rated,
It's
though.
Burned up corpse, never to be reanimated ever again.
I love it. I love it.
By the way, these two guys fucking. Fuck, I can't figure out directions. These two guys fucking get it. Got the best two.
Terrible.
So
I've gone
Kemper,
0 for 2
what would
with
you
my
like to see under
re-rates.
the Festivus poll?
Pitching. And I have pitching on my team.
Honestly, I said it could be your team or eMLB. Brennan, how about you?
I would like to see. Real effort taken by all GMs to provide adequate levels of engagement with the league, because the league is only as strong as its weakest GM.
Thanks for not naming me by name. I appreciate that.
Oh, Tim, you're not the last.
It sure as hell got a lot stronger recently.
Look, all I'm saying is that I have found out that drunk Brendan has no filter. So, but I have enough of a filter not to name names. But some of y'all need to either step up or reconsider your spot.
Well, you talked earlier about Ben butt fucking Hedges, so I mean, like,
and at least both of those guys are active and care about the league.
Oh, that's active, all right.
He's actively plowing right through them, yeah, but it's active engagement.
Does YouTube have an NC-17 rating?
This is going to be the unaired episode of.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to end up being a 15-minute short.
If Andrew was on here with us, he would have signed off by now.
It's probably like
left.
If this doesn't see the light of day, I will take everything I've said and I will post it, because this is all going out.
All right. So, you know what?
What you want to see, Aiden?
I'd like to see two things, and I'm gonna be a good professional here, and I'd like to see you like and subscribe right here on YouTube. But
I love it.
I know. Shameless plug.
And put your comments as to what you would like to see.
Exactly.
Of course you do.
But what I would like to see is I would like to see a little more variance in the CCPs, in the sense of, I feel like right now we see the top of the top is these GM CCPs, and outside of Danny Smith Jr., really, we don't see a lot of these community guys who are active in the chats and stuff like that. Really up there is some of the top of the top.
I mean,
because
extreme.
Right now, I mean, yes,
Extreme.
but that's a rare occurrence. You know what I mean? Because you
there.
tell me right now, who do you think as the top CCPs? You obviously Danny Smith Jr. is up there, but Cody Koshin, a two-way player. You probably think of Sammy Isla, Lola Thurman,
The Kims,
Aiden Pearson, Lee. I mean, there are so many that you think of, but all of them are GM CCPs. So I would like to see a little more, whether it's normality, that we see some more non-GM guys who are up there challenging for MVPs and all-star votes every year and Silver Slugger awards, because that's what makes this community so great.
I agree, and I think we're gonna get to. I think we're like steadily moving that way, because there's the amount of really good CCPs who are not GMs is a lot larger than it was just a few years ago when I first joined the league. It's now ever not progressing quickly enough because, frankly, the people who are the most invested in the league are the GMs. Obviously, it is a significantly different experience to watch this league without a real stake in it and running it.
Well, and plus we've also had the change in how quickly your guy can rise to the top, and I think that's a good thing. I think it needs to be more in line with normal regression of players. I'd like to see something happen at the other end of that, where like once a guy hits his year 27, 28 year, your ability to bump that guy up almost shuts off completely.
Actually, we talked about this earlier, and I'm considering this the debut of this idea. Maybe once you sign a long-term contract extension, you're not allowed to boost anymore.
Or like you get a certain amount of boosts per year.
Like Kamish gets 3 boosts a year through articles. Maybe you're capped at 3 boosts after the long-term extension.
I can live with that.
I could live with that too. I feel like that'd be fair.
I don't hate that at all.
I feel like that's a change that everyone could get on board with. Because here's the thing here's what the problem with policing CCPs. I don't think anybody fully has disagreed with maybe that there should be some policing, but JR has raised the point. I can't figure out which direction I'm toasted. And JR has raised the point a lot that policing CCPs takes a significant amount of the fun of CCPs out of it.
Yes.
But we all agree that there needs to be a strong competitive environment. I feel like that would be a very solid step towards making it at least a slightly more balanced environment, while also not really ruffling very many feathers.
But then, like the discussion today, I believe it was held in the GM channel about do we make it harder to make a two-way player?
Yeah, I
think definitely so.
Players. It's totally unrealistic, all the two-way players we have.
Because what? Yeah. Out of these two-way players, the ones you really think of, obviously Ohtani's the cream of the crop, but outside of that, the Reds try. Well, I'm talking about in real life. The Reds tried Michael Lorenzen. I mean, you've got Jack Caglione, who's going to be drafted next year, probably 1 overall by Oakland. I mean, outside of that,
there will never be again in real life another Ohtani. Ohtani is unique among professional sports as a true unicorn. And our league, by its nature with CCPs, has a entire herd of unicorns roaming across the plains.
You've got Ohtani, you've got Koshin, you've got Dante Haversham now.
You've got Duran Martin.
Yeah, like Haversham is a catcher and a starting pitcher. Like that is so out of the bounds of realism. It drives me nuts.
And there's nothing wrong with Hebrew for doing it, though. It's within the rules.
There's nothing wrong with Hebrew for doing it.
No, it's within the rules. I'm saying the rules need to change because of that.
Hold on. But sometimes you have to remind ourselves that this is not reality. Like, but at some point, where do we have to draw a line? Say, okay, you want to make a two-way player. Great. He can play first base, or
you can only play this other. Spots. Yeah, you can only play. Yeah.
Or if you're a reliever, like
because
even
a
two-way player,
even Cody's is a DH / first baseman pitcher.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're a two-way player, but let's say like a specialty reliever, cool. You can play third base, you can play shortstop, you can play second base, but your stamina is going to be 3, and you can only be used for an inning or to 2 innings maximum.
I want to take just a real quick second to actually defend the great overarching evil force of eMLB that is Cody Koshin. Not the player, the GM, but specifically talking about the player. Cody has a well-deserved reputation as the devil. He is the league's pusher of rules. He will find any and all exploits, and he is necessary, and I love him for it. However, anybody who tries to accuse him of having 5 god-tier CCPs is stepping a little bit off base.
Yeah,
they're not god tier.
They're not
all
Danny Smith.
And even Cody Koshin, who is a two-way player, is an average or slightly above average at best hitter. You go look at his career. He's not that great a hitter. He's an ace. Right. He's an ace, but he's really not that great of a hitter. I feel like you know what? I meant to do this in airing of the grievances. Stop picking on Cody as much. He deserves a little bit of a break. Not a lot of a break. A little bit of a break.
Let's take a look at his batting stats from this past year. His age 24 season. Hit .244, a 785 OPS, a 110 OPS plus. He had 28 homers and 94 RBIs. 131 strikeouts and 4. You'd say that's probably what? Average to above league average? I mean,
yeah, a little bit above.
Pitching wise, he was 12-11. Again, I don't put much weight into wins and losses as pitchers. A 3.21 ERA, 213 innings. He had 218 strikeouts, a 1.08 WHIP, a BABIP of 2.99, and an ERA plus of 1.38.
And he's in his year 25 season, and he's got he's got over 500 games in the MLB. How many players in the history of baseball have played 500 games by the time they're 25?
And he's a three-time All-Star. He won the Cy Young in 2024, and he's a world champion now.
And he's getting paid a whopping $4.4 million this year.
I mean, he's offered to have that contract increased. No one will take him up.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
How come we have not taken him up on that yet?
Ask LB.
That just sounds like a bad idea.
I mean, I can't go into the editor and change it.
Also, I believe since the last time we recorded, we do have award winner results that have been posted. Correct?
Yes.
Shall we go over the results for those?
I think that while that would be a lot of fun, we're already 30 minutes into the recording session, probably like 27 minutes into the episode, and none of us want to be here for another hour.
I mean, we can go over some of them
major
very
awards.
MVP and Cy Young. MVP and Cy Young.
We'll go over MVP and Cy Young. Let's start with Cy Young. David Ellis of Houston taking home the AL one, followed by
David Elvis.
Sorry. Followed by Cassie Thurman, Hans Kraus, Dan Walker, and Freezer Perez.
Yeah, I agree with
Was
Elvis
that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Elvis had the best. I mean, Elvis. Here's the thing. Cassie Thurman threw a fuck ton of innings, but but like that was through gross misuse. Elvis, as a rate pitcher, was leaps and bounds better than Thurman this year, and Elvis deserved to take home the Cy Young. But I do agree with the order of the voting.
13 first place votes for Elvis, 15 for Thurman, and 2 for Hans Kraus. Second place votes went 13 for Elvis, 8 for Thurman, 7 for Kraus, 1 for Blake Snell, and 1 for Jim Giesler.
It wasn't me.
What's funny is that Hans Kraus was actually named on more ballots than both Elvis and Thurman.
Correct.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean,
Thurman shows up as angry about the team record. How competitive do you have to be pissed that you only won 104 games?
Cassie wants more, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cassie
won 113.
Have we determined is Cassie a she? Cassie and Lola.
They're both she's, but
yes.
they have he face gens because they I don't know.
They haven't added it.
You can set them to be female face gens.
Okay.
It's in the settings.
So let's move on to the NL side. No shock here, running away with it is Jandy Ronson, followed by Cody Koshin, Steve Randolph, Braylon Marquez, and Joe Diggs. To me, I'm kind of shocked that Justin Sharp didn't get more love.
Yeah, but also no.
Yeah.
Not considered the best pitcher on his own team.
Really not even considered probably the third best pitcher on his own team.
Yeah. So. Yeah, who was the second best?
It was Perder.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Perder. Perder. By the way, when you post the the obituary for the Baltimore Orioles first half, Perder is listed as the murderer. Like murdered by Mike Perder, the man who struck out 13 in a game where the Pirates struck out 18 Baltimore. I think it was actually 20-something Baltimore Orioles.
He was noticed in the crowd at the funeral.
If he could have stayed healthy, Perder could have given Jandy a run for his money. I think.
Yeah.
He would have. As a matter of fact, like let's while we're here, I can actually check those numbers. By the way, I'm sobering up a little bit, so I feel like
I can tell.
Oh no! Hey,
He's in the
hold on.
zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, while Brennan's taking those numbers, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor for today's episode, Patron. Brennan, take another shot. Take another shot.
I don't take shots because I will
technically
vomit.
I'm drinking 1800. Just FYI.
I've already
Okay,
eaten my
so-
Twinkies, but I've had the wrappers.
Perter had
I got nothing.
4.1 WAR, 4.14 in a 4.1 WAR in 111 innings. Okay. Jandy Robinson had 6.9 in 207. So if you give Perter the same amount of innings as Jandy Robinson, he's got over a WAR more than Jandy.
He's a warful.
He's a
War full of war.
You were sitting on that for a bit, weren't you?
We're all
Yes.
going to Waffle House after this.
Ooh,
Waffle
we have
House.
two. Do you want?
I don't have those here.
Oh,
There's two
God.
Waffle Houses right down the street from me, right next
Waffle
to
House
each
on
other.
DoorDash.
Honestly, I'm in the right mental
Yes,
state
they
to
are.
enjoy
Yes,
Waffle
they
House.
are, JR. All
All
right,
right,
let's move
next,
on to
I need
MVP.
another drink.
Scattered,
MVP. Let's
smothered,
start
and
in the
covered,
National
baby.
League this time. Danny Smith Jr. takes it home,
Yeah.
followed closely behind by Fernando Tatis Jr. and Yuna Kim. Andrew Alexander and Asher Kin round out the top five. Trey Griffey just slightly missing out there.
The only player who I would have been happy with winning that is Trey, because while I love Steve with all of my heart, the Kim clan need to go be bumped down just a tiny bit. Danny Smith is broken. Fernando Tatis takes steroids, and Andrew Alexander,
He's, yeah, no.
Yeah. Can we try to guess who the one first place vote for Andrew Alexander was?
I wonder who did it.
He's gonna swear that it wasn't him.
Oh,
Also,
really?
also the fact I'd
Or
like to
maybe it
bring
was.
something up, and you know what? This might be my one time defending Andrew on this show, but I'm going to. Shane Roediger deserved more than just one fifth place vote.
He absolutely did, but he
Yes,
also
he
did. But also the National League, the top of the National League field was pretty fucking crowded.
Who are
True.
you going to vote him ahead of?
Exactly. Like,
Yeah,
does he
that's the
deserve to be seriously considered? Yes, but really, the top of the National League was super competitive with the Kims, the Tatis, and Smith.
And
your fifth place vote is like a toss up between like five other guys.
you want to know something? You want to know who gave him the lone fifth place vote?
You.
Me. Just because I believe he deserved it.
Who gave LaRon Smith a first place vote?
Probably Chris.
Or Jose
Was not me.
Anthony?
Oh, maybe it was Plant Daddy before he got kicked out. I mean, left.
I was
Yeah.
getting ready to say that.
All right.
Parting shot.
I mean, he left, but he was also like
Can
kicked
yeah,
on his
can
way
we
out the
can
door.
we talk real quick like about the AL Rookie of the Year vote? Like, how could somebody not vote for Trevor Gretzky to win that?
Somebody who wanted their own player to win.
I vote.
Come on, that is weak.
Who all received votes for first place votes for AL Rookie of the Year? Can you see that? Aiden?
Reese Albert.
Yes, I can.
It was the White Sox.
was
Reese Albert got
American
the other
Rookie
vote.
of the Year was
Reese Albert. I just
Yeah,
said it.
Reese Albert was the only
Total
one
first
to
place
get another
votes. First place votes is all I care about.
Yeah, 29 to
29
Gretzky,
to
one
Yeah, that's
for
what I'm
Albert.
saying. There was only
We only
one,
got 30
one
votes.
vote.
We didn't get 32.
29 out of 30. Come on, people.
Yeah. All right,
That's
let's
weak.
move on to the AL MVP. Starting number one was won by Lola Thurman, followed closely behind by Trevor Gretzky, Sammy Isla, Francisco Lindor, and Aiden Pearson rounding out the top five.
Pitchers
There.
get
That was
no
the
love
one
in
I had the
MVP.
hardest time with. I flip-flop back and forth between Gretzky and Thurman
I voted
a good
Gretzky.
half dozen of teams.
And how could you leave either one of them off your top five? Like, these are the kind of things that
Yeah,
drive
they
me
were.
nuts.
We're gonna talk. I don't have a problem with Lola Thurman. She's awesome. But if we're gonna talk about unrealistic profiles for players, a catcher who posts a slash line of 330, 414, 586 with 31 home runs, 30 doubles, and 34 stolen bases. A catcher with 34 stolen bases, 30 home runs, and 31 home runs and 30 doubles. A 30-30-30 player as a catcher.
Craig Biggio as a friend of Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Aiden Pearson gave 2 30s, just not the 30 stolen bases. 32 doubles, 33 bombs, a 302 average.
Well, I guess we know where that next paycheck is going towards boosting that speed.
Boosty.
because that's basically the last thing he has to boost.
Andrew
I
just said there better be Chara Bunny stamps.
You know what? I'm not keeping track of them. I doubt anyone else is. I think we said at the beginning that no one's keeping track. So,
also, just a reminder for the GMs out there: the Hall of Fame ballot is currently open. Please make sure you do go vote.
Yes,
Do your
and
civic duty.
may I join the great Ted Williams in telling you that every one of you need to vote for Joe Jackson. Please and thank you.
Some of the big names
we got
year,
like a couple years until it's actually us, like our stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Here are the new names added to the ballot this year. For those who don't know, we've got Miguel Cabrera, Robinson Cano, Edwin Encarnacion, Carlos Gonzalez, Russell Martin, Yadier Molina on the hitter side. On the pitching side, a bunch of new faces joining us. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to highlight some of the big ones that I see on here. Doc Ellis, Gio Gonzalez, Zach Greinke, Mike Hampton, Corey Kluber, John Lester, Don Newcomb, Nap Rucker.
Shot for Scott Rowland going in the Hall of Fame.
Shot for Scotty Roll. Some of the names who are still left on the list, some big ones are Tommy John, CC Sabathia, Andy Pettit, Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy. On the hitting side of things, you've got Larry Walker, Todd Helton, Mark McGuire, Beltran, and Scott Rowland. So, gentlemen, who are you campaigning hard for to join the Hall of Fame this year? I think we already heard who JR's voting for.
And we know who Andrew's voting for.
Scotty Rowland, baby.
I care very little about Hall of Fame voting in this league.
Yeah, it's nothing great right
then
now.
I'll take Cabrera for you.
I'll just vote. I'll just go vote for a couple players who I feel like are like, hey, I know you and you had a good career. Put a vote.
You know what? Every single GM who listens to this show, vote for Bartolo Colon. The fact that the Hall of Fame does not have Big Sexy is a travesty.
Listen, JR, our inspiration, our hero, we need to vote for him.
He's like, no.
All right, listen. It's
like Gladiator. He's like,
I've talked about who my fifth CCP will be. I really want to make him like everyone else. Like you have Aiden Pearson, right? There's a Jamie Thurman out there. There's a Jacob Schmidt. I kind of want to make Brenden Magouirk and make him bigger, sexier.
Bigger, sexier. I love it.
I like that.
All right, gentlemen. So one last thing before we go, because I feel like this has been a fun episode
Hot
so
seat
far.
Before we go.
Oh, hot seat's gonna happen, but I've got one more conversation topic. So,
everybody take a shot.
So, of the teams, obviously we saw a bunch of trades happen. Of the trades that happened today, who is going to have the biggest impact on their new team? And we can't all say the same guy.
Aaron Nola.
Jeremy Workman, baby.
To Oyamori. I'm sorry. Oyamori. We took the Tom out of it.
Oh, God.
I love it. Should we just move on to the hot seat?
I say Jerry Rivera once Brenden trades him to me.
Jerry Rivera. I like it.
Joey Bart.
Yes.
I had to give you something.
My players are already all about his leadership and captain ability. They're excited.
Okay, so look, I feel like there's been a lot of joking, and that's fun because this has been a lot of fun. But actually, which player do I think is going to have the biggest impact? I think it might be Adley Rutschman with Toronto. Toronto has had an extremely weak catcher group, and I do feel like Adley Rutschman is an improvement over what they've previously had. Having a solid catcher added to that team is a big move for Toronto. He's not going to be setting the world on fire, but he's a big upgrade over a weak spot on a team that is on the rise.
You know what I think Harris could really use is Trey Griffey.
You know, I'm going to go with Johnny Rocca in Baltimore.
I needed a
I think
center
Rocha's going to pair really nicely in that lineup amongst Bluth and Spence.
I think
All
Kenny
right.
Rodriguez fixed
I'm
the
a way
one
to kick
hole in
JR's
Houston
ass.
that the one obvious
hole.
this thing does not belong in Houston. I think
How
that's
the
now fixed.
fuck does Ben?
So now
Yeah.
now I'm looking at him and I'm like, how do you project somebody for 125 wins? But it's like,
How do
where
you
did
not?
40 losses come out of that team? Is
You-
Right.
just my thing.
You guys remember the 5th season of Breaking Bad?
No.
No.
What? Okay, so there's the meme,
Yeah, of course.
right?
Yeah, come on, yeah.
Jesse Pinkman, he's going, he can't keep getting away with this!
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes,
All
he
right.
He
can.
can't keep getting away with this. Why has no one stopped him? Tom's doing his fucking damnedest to get it done. By the way, I keep track. I joined the league in the beginning of the 2024 season. I keep track of league win totals since that point in time.
Yeah, we know you bring it up all the time.
What? I do bring it up all the time. Dude, I'm still a little bit toasted. Not all the way. Don't judge
You're
me.
starting to get all sober on us here.
Judge
Yeah,
me
what
later.
is this?
Eat shit.
Spreadsheets are better than coffee for sobering up.
So, Houston has won 398 games in the last 4 years.
Okay.
The Angels have won 394. Tom is trying his best.
Oh yeah.
Tom, okay, kidding aside, Tom is very good at constructing a team. He's
Yes, he is.
very, very particular about it. He goes through his squad. He makes some shrewd trades. He makes the right guys available at the right time. You know, he's done his part to get that team another title. It just hasn't happened.
Because Houston's so good.
All right, gentlemen. It's time for the hot seat.
Oh boy.
And guess who gets to start on the hot seat? Our special guest today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan, you want to start us off with the first question?
I do want to start us off with the same question. How do you feel about managing to escape the Gianfran Escalona contract?
Great. Not terrible. Kind of bad because I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I don't know if any of the stuff that I got from him are actually gonna pan out because Padani had a really crappy year last year, and I think I got a couple more players, but I'm happy to be out of them. It's just one less pitcher I'm paying. That now I'm not paying really any of my pitchers that much money. Like Sandlin's getting $9 million. That's my top pay. So I'll take that.
JR, your question.
Who's the first big free agent to sign?
First, I don't think it's going to be someone stupid like that, like no one expects. Like one of them, someone's going to overpay for one of these like rookie free agents, or like, I don't know. That's who I mean, like one of these rookie free agents is probably going to get a stupid contract like Gansel, and I'll just jump on it because he hasn't had a sniff in major leagues.
All right.
People will jump on it. We'll go to Tim. Where are we going with Aiden?
No, we go down the line.
Okay.
So 70.5, Vegas has the win total at for the Mets next year. Over or under?
I want to say over, and I did that this year, so I would assume that I'm over unless I get no starting pitching this offseason. Then probably under.
Tim?
I think he just kind of answered my questions. Like, what were you going to focus on more, hitting or pitching? So it's going to be pitching.
Pitching, because my hitting started to come around in the second half.
He made with one trade, he got a whole infield.
Yeah.
So a follow up then, because it's teams kind of pop up out of nowhere, and then there's always seems to be a regression back to the mean.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking? What are you trying to do to?
I'm just trying to
avoid that.
To avoid that. I'm trying to fill the holes that I know I have, because I have a hole at second base and starting pitching, and even relief pitching is abysmal on my team. I don't have anyone that I'm confident with.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. JR, your turn in the hot seat. Tim, why don't you start us off?
The expectation was this year that you were going to be at or near the top of the NL East.
Who said that?
I don't know. It just I saw it on a
podcast
magazine
people.
somewhere.
Some weirdo.
I know
wearing
who
a
it was. The
Minnesota Twins hat.
celebrity GMs that this league has were really big on that. Where do you see yourself coming into next season?
It's a hard question to answer right now because I'll be honest with you. I really am torn as to what to do with my squad. There's some options I have out there to add some pitching that I think could help us potentially to compete, but I really am also tempted to just like say fuck it and trade Griffey and get a bunch of talent and kind of blow it up and wait for some of my young guys to get ready. But I say we probably are around the 500 mark, maybe taking a step forward.
Okay. Cool.
All right, let's see here. What do you think is more likely to happen? The Pirates repeat as world champions, or the Kansas City Royals win less than 60 games?
What's more likely to happen?
I win more than 60 games.
I mean, they won what? Let's see. They won 62 this year. I say it's more likely they're under 60. I mean, repeating is so tough, and there's so so many good teams in this league. I figure the Royals sucking is more likely to count on.
Fair.
Sorry, Minerva.
Yeah. What is your number one focus this offseason? Are you still trying to figure that out?
I mean, I do have to. I mean, no matter what I'm going to do, I have to improve my starting pitching. So whether that's, guys that can help now and I try to compete now, or guys that are younger who can potentially help now but really can help in the future, that's what I'm after, improving starting pitching.
Brenden.
So, as one of our celebrity GMs, you were singled out particularly and emphatically by he who shall not be named, Lord Voldemort. I want to know the real feelings under the hood with JR on how much rent-free space you took up in this guy's head. Did it feel good? Did you enjoy it?
Insert timestamp here.
Oh, keep it in. If this gets cut, I riot.
I will be totally honest with you. I'm really furious that I didn't get to see what he said. Like, I didn't see what his scorched earth messages were on the way out, because by the time I saw what was going on, it had already been deleted.
You didn't miss much.
So
Yeah.
I missed out on all that, but I couldn't believe that, like, weeks or maybe even months after we had ragged on him about the LeBron Smith trade, he, in private DMs and trade discussions, used it as an opportunity to throw it back in my face and screenshot my record and send it to me, like that he somehow got one over on me.
Yeah.
If I may, a direct quote from Plant Daddy to Kamish. The guy that likes you the most is a grown man involved in pro wrestling. You should ponder that. It is 100% true, and most people think that you are not neutral. Later saying, oh, I need to find this because it's too good.
I just think Ric Flair. I just think Ric Flair should
JR
be
is the
given time
worst
to.
manager in this league and does not know shit about the game.
Wow.
What is your response to that, sir?
We're talking about a guy who took LaRon Smith and traded him for a bag of baseballs and a bunch of random nobody players. I mean,
Hold on. In the words of Blake Snell, we traded Fam for Renfro and a slapdick prospect.
yeah. Not only that, then he put Brewster Gratterall in the bullpen for a while for some reason. Didn't make any sense. He takes Kobe Halter, who was one of his good young starters, and just stashes him away in the bullpen, doesn't do anything with him. He leaves some of these guys open to the expansion draft that are top young starting pitching prospects, just floats out there, just give away to Portland and Montreal. And then also had the audacity to just constantly be a gigantic asshole to everybody and anyone in the Discord, and then be like, "Hey, yo, bro, I was just kidding. I didn't even mean
That's
it.
just my Pacerno.
That's just me. I'm just playing, yo. Come on."
All right, Timothy, it is your turn on the hot seat.
Oh, God.
Timothy. I'll kick us off.
No, you can't have Aaron Cross.
Damn it. I
I
redact my
already
statement.
traded.
Every
Well,
conversation with you
moving on
starts
to
with
the
that
next
question.
person.
I figured
Tim,
it was
you wanna
that.
go?
Honestly, it does. But okay, let's have a fun question here. If you could trade spots, like just trade teams, not strategy or anything like that, but just trade teams with one GM, who would it be?
Toronto.
Toronto. Ooh, I like it.
Because I like the approach. Nobody there is old enough to be out past 11:30, and
Nobody can
it's-
rent a car.
yeah, exactly. So I know where they are. No, and I mean that team. I mean, sky's the limit for the next few years on that.
For the
team.
Baby Jays, sky's the limit.
Every other team I can
J-
think of is going to have a real problem salary wise when their CCPs hit that magic age.
JR, you're up, sir.
Who is your favorite prospect in your minors right now?
In my minors,
Yeah.
that's not named Brock Rutherford. I really like the third baseman I got. And bear with me.
I really like this guy whose name I don't remember.
I studied this
Put it on
thoroughly. It's Josh Harwood. Harwood, I started looking at him early on in the draft class, and I didn't think he would make it past the first round, and he fell to me in the second. Great bat. I want to develop some power in my minor leagues, and he looked like a really good place to start. And I am excited about. I'm trying to make the path work for him so that he can be there sooner rather than later.
Brennan.
Okay, so you just wrapped up your first full season as general manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Obviously a tough year. We're still rebuilding. Based on the current direction of your rebuild, when do you project your team to be – when should your team enter its competitive window?
Last year I said 2030. I'm going to say 2031 because I'm struggling to figure out the financial aspect in terms of I've got almost 40% of my salary is bumped up in 3 players, and one of them is a non-starter for me. So I just, need to either win the lottery or need to add a comma, one or the other.
The ugly side of the results of Aaron's tenure.
Mhm.
Ugh.
It's fine.
Oof. All right. I'll just continue with what's your number one priority to get done in the off season?
I've got a logjam of 4A or 3.5A players. I want to find out rather quickly in the first month or two of the minor league season who I want to bring up. And so that's going to be my focus, spring training and early season.
Yep.
Are you playing a lot of them in Winter League?
I'm trying a different approach this year in Winter League because I went from having about 700 people in rookie ball and low A to I thinned that out fairly well, and I basically want to make everybody in my low minors fight for my attention.
I love it.
All right. Next into the hot seat, Brenden.
The number one strategy of any deadbeat dad. Make the
All
kids
right.
fight for
Hey.
your attention.
Denver,
hair.
kick us off.
Baltimore.
It's in Maryland.
It is Maryland.
What, you didn't trade that too?
We're in a new state. We got a new stadium. We totally know.
Oh my
In
God.
Oklahoma,
We
damn it.
actually traded ourselves to Indianapolis.
Ah, you snuck.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Snuck to
Yikes. Yikes.
It's in a corner of Jim Irsay's museum.
What you got for me, buddy?
Let's see. Oh, I could go what is your number one trade you've made?
All time or this offseason?
All time, I would say.
The best trade or the funniest? Because I feel like those are two different answers.
I mean, either or, whatever you want to go with.
All right. So I honestly think that the best trade I've made was the second trade I made. I'm sorry, the third. I lost count. Back in the 2024 season, at the trade deadline, I put together a fairly large package to acquire Verdugo from the Dodgers. I sent Juan Corcoran, who's turned out very good, Cesar and Gomez, who's been a bullpen ace, and Grayson Rodriguez, two lesser players, for Verdugo. And Juan Corcoran's turned out pretty good, and Rodriguez is still playing, and then Gomez is a bullpen ace. Verdugo's 7.7-ish WAR season in 2025 is what launched me to the World Series. So I would put that down as my number one trade I've made because it got me to the World Series.
And then the Verdugo trade after that was a complete, just utter disaster on both
There's
sides.
no one on that trade that is doing anything in this league except for Gene Hughes.
Fucking okay, real quick. And Denver, you told me about this earlier. I trade for Gomer Townsend, who promptly retires to go play basketball at Yale, and then
Miami
traded. Miami traded
Miami,
him to
Yale,
Oakland
it's all the same.
for Grant Townsend. So Verdugo has been traded for a G Townsend twice.
What a stat.
How about
Pete
that
Townsend
shit?
is next.
Brennan, my question is who's going to take over the plant daddy role of being just an absolute dick face all the time?
See, the field's kind of open right now. Like, Cody is real tongue-in-cheek, the villain of the league, but, like, he's kind of like a lovable scamp, you know?
He's the Dr. Doofenshmirtz of the league.
Yeah, he's the Evil Incorporated, but let's be real, we all kind of root for him. As a person. Not for his goals, of course. Villain of the league.
I mean, it's whoever's on top is usually the
It's
villain.
Jake.
Me?
No further elaboration. No, I'm sorry. Not
have like
real
3
Jake.
Jakes.
Okay. So there's
We have 3 Jakes.
You're Jake Prime.
I was the
Okay.
original.
You're Jake Prime. Jake in Chicago White Sox
And
is
then there's
Jake from
right?
State Farm. Is Jake from State Farm, and this Jake
Jake and the Yankees, you mean?
no this is not the real Jake.
Hedges is the
Okay.
Yankees.
This is
Oh,
not,
that's right. Okay.
This
Sorry.
okay. So Jake Twins is not the real Jake. That's his Jake. We have Jake Prime, Jake from State Farm, and not the real Jake.
All right, I'll get this one day. I'll write that down.
That was a good movie. The two Jakes.
JR, you're next.
I got this.
Jake and the Fat Man. Remember Jake and the Fat Man?
Oh yeah.
I remember a Family Guy joke about it.
Okay, let's play F, Marry, Kill.
Oh yeah, baby, let's fucking go.
We got Sadier, Denbrew, and Aiden.
Okay.
I'm not old enough to be in this conversation.
Look, okay. I feel like Denbrew will. I'm sorry, Denbrew, but I gotta kill you.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that because I think you're really attractive, and I think you satisfy me emotionally, but you don't do it enough in either way.
I think he's relieved more than anything else.
I know he cheered it. He
Dead.
cheered it.
I'm dead.
Aiden, you are seriously one of my best friends, and you are emotionally satisfying. So I'm gonna marry you, and let's go. Let's be real. Sadier is a one sexy motherfucker, so we're gonna be fucking Sadier.
He didn't mean it, Aiden. Come back.
No, Aiden, I meant that positively. I'm gonna marry you. I got the ring. I just gotta fly down to Florida.
Hey, you get Disney back.
Yeah, Disney's back. Yeah, Disney's back.
Aiden, where'd you go?
He's overtaken with emotion.
Come back.
On the hot seat.
He's feeling a little mystic.
Come back. JR, thank you for that, by the way. That was great.
That was good.
We were being too serious there for a while.
We were being too serious. I appreciate it.
So I'm going to bring us back to serious.
Okay.
I hope we all know that overall and potential in OOTP is about as worthless as a former GM in Minnesota.
Why didn't we
What
have
is
this
the
much fun
biggest? What's the biggest stat in OOTP that we all think too much of, or spend too much time with, overemphasize?
Statter rating.
Either one, a number, any number that we focus too much on.
See, now here's where I'm trying to debate on whether or not I tell you something real, really important, or tell you something kind of important. I'm going to tell you something kind of important, and that's stolen bases. Stolen bases don't matter at all. There is zero correlation to runs allowed and therefore runs scoring with stolen base with stolen bases. There, however, is a massive detriment to teams that steal because you lose base runners. So positively stealing gets you nothing, and failing at stealing costs you. Stealing is pointless. And it is true in real life baseball that stealing is mostly pointless. Now, obviously, in real life baseball this last year, they made it more, they incentivized it because they knew it was pointless. So they tried to make teams do it more. But in our league and in baseball prior to this real life year, stealing is mostly completely pointless, and really teams should hardly ever do it. And it's true and out of the park.
Why does it always bite me when it happens in a game of the night?
All right, so everyone's asked a question now?
Yeah.
Everyone's asked a question.
All right, I guess it's my turn.
You seem so happy.
I want to go last.
All right, JR, kick us off.
So, who is least likely to be on the Tampa Bay Rays opening day roster between Wander Franco, Jim Giesler, and Ben Spears?
Ben Spears.
Oh.
That was quick.
That was quick. Something's already happened.
No. Just, I know what it's going to take to get Giesler. Franco, you would have to absolutely blow me away to get him away from me, just being a real life Rays fan. The sentimental value part of it, plus what he does in this league. So it would have to be something that knocks my socks off. And Spears just has come off of 2 not so great seasons that I feel like I have some guys waiting in the wings that I'd like to give full-time opportunities to.
Cool. Tim?
All right.
Oh, it's gonna be me.
Tim.
What was your biggest disappointment of this past season?
I thought your name was Jake.
Wait, didn't you say Jake? Didn't you
He
say
said
Jake?
No.
You
No,
said Tim.
it's fine, but I'll answer that
Oh.
question.
Yeah.
My biggest
There we go.
disappointment is that
Professional.
I lost a lot of close games. My bullpen decided to shit the bed late a lot.
Yeah.
My offense was there. My starting pitching was
All
pretty
right,
damn
so-
decent.
Go
Bullpen
ahead,
wasn't.
Just like your internet connection.
Exactly.
Oh,
All right. Who's the GM? Who's the biggest GM in the league that you think is overrated? Who's the most overrated GM? And you can't pick yourself.
Damn it. Overrated? I'm going to go with So I love all the GMs and the new ones I don't know well enough.
well, they're new, so they're not highly rated yet. So we're talking about overrated.
I'm going to say
Well, it's gotta be me. I don't know shit.
I'm
That's
gonna
why
say
he's so
the
hesitant.
the most overrated, and he knows how much I love him. I'm going to say Hebrew just for the simple fact that he just has a lot of money to play with I don't know whether he is actually a good GM or just can get good players because he has money to play with.
I feel like a lot of his guys are playing above their ratings too.
True.
Yeah, but I also think that happens because he knows which guys to get.
I think there's a
You
real
asked for an
method to his
answer, and
madness.
that was the nicest
No,
way
it's
I
a
could
good one.
answer that question without hurting
That's a
feelings.
That's a hard answer.
And
All right.
I didn't mean to call you out or anybody else out. I just there's
It's a
some
good
guys
question,
that we think.
Tim. It's the hot seat. God damn it.
So,
Thank you. Exactly.
great questions, everybody. We've reached our final one, and
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Aiden, will you marry me?
He got down on his knee, Aiden.
Oh, come on. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
holding my imaginary ring.
I mean,
Is it a
Do you
World
need to put your
Championship
girlfriend on mute first?
No,
I'm gonna have to say no. There wasn't a flash mob. There was no sentimental value behind it. There was no pizzazz. You know I'm a guy who likes pizzazz.
I need
You've
to do
got to
better.
You've got to take him to the Orioles game and put it up on the jumbotron.
I do.
Plus,
I do.
Plus,
I
he put
do.
you on. He put you on the spot in front of people. What a dick move!
Right?
That's a question you ask only when you know the answer in advance.
Exactly.
Yep.
I thought
Yeah.
I knew the answer. I'm heartbroken, and I will see you all later.
Go
okay.
enjoy that tequila. Well,
Anybody
ladies
but
and gentlemen,
Madrano.
this has been a great episode. Oh God. Can I interest anyone in Johan Camargo while you're here?
Boo!
I think he retired, did he?
I think so.
Galabra
Aaron
Torres.
mentioned
Well,
him in
this
the
has been a-
Discord
This has been a great episode of
that you will never see.
We will absolutely see. This episode sees the light of day, or I riot.
I
Ladies
and gentlemen,
texted.
I already posted
Andrew.
about it. I already posted about it in the Discord that it
Ladies
has
and
to come
gentlemen,
out now.
I texted Andrew and said we should do it as a silent movie and just post the redacted transcript.
No. Full thing. If you have a problem with anything I said, come at me, bros.
Come
I
at
don't
him.
care.
Get him.
All right.
I don't care.
Before this gets any more hasty, we're gonna sign off. Thank you
I'm
so
going to
much
be
for joining
hungover
us.
tomorrow morning.
Denbrew, thank you so much for joining us as our guest. And until next time, everyone, see you later.
I love all of you.